The pharmaceutical industry is standing on the edge of a massive revenue cliff, and the ground is already giving way. In just the first 2 months of 2026, Biopharma deal value hit $61.17 billion. That is up 60% year over year and marks the strongest start in BioWorld's records. Before we break down the strategy, please remember, this video is for informational purposes only and is not financial advice. Please do your own research. If you find this breakdown helpful, give us a like, comment below, and subscribe. Deal flow is currently concentrating on distinctive science, specifically oncology, cardiometabolic disease, CNS, and immunology, which is exactly where the largest recent deals have landed. This M&A spike is a calculated survival tactic by major pharmaceutical corporations, scrambling to replace dying revenue streams before their time runs out. The threat driving this panic is called LOE, or loss of exclusivity. When a drug loses its patent protection, it legally opens the door to generic competition, which immediately guts the brand's revenue. Companies like AstraZeneca, Novartis, and specifically Merck are staring down a severe 2026 patent cliff and have to find replacement assets right now. Merck's own filings make the timeline clear. Their blockbuster diabetes drugs, Januvia and Janumet, lose U.S. exclusivity this May, with Janumet XR following in July. This chart shows the timeline of massive revenue drivers dropping off in 2026. We see AstraZeneca's Farxiga fading, along with Xolair, Bristol-Myers Squibb's Pomalyst, and Novartis's Entresto. Big Pharma's solution to this pressure is simple. Use their massive cash reserves to buy differentiated, late-stage clinical assets that can immediately step in to replace these dying blockbusters. However, assuming that the highest quality standalone biotech company is automatically the most likely acquisition target often leads to significant investment errors. Success requires choosing between the structural safety of a multi-billion-dollar platform and high-risk clinical assets designed to plug specific revenue holes. This two-axis matrix evaluates takeover targets. Vertical measures acquisition likelihood. Horizontal measures standalone viability. Among 10 billion-plus megacaps, Revolution Medicines and Ascendis Pharma sit firmly bottom right. These represent structurally sound businesses with strong IP, validated platforms, and positive cash flow. The trade-off is that their sheer size drastically shrinks the pool of realistic bidders who can actually afford to write a $15 billion check. Potential buyers often hesitate on these names, choosing to wait for further clinical data points rather than paying a massive premium upfront. These megacaps are excellent long-term standalone holds, but statistically poor vehicles if the objective is capturing a sudden, near-term M&A pop. An alternative is targeting right-sized scarcity assets in specialized fields like CNS, which stands for central nervous system, and immunology. XENE Pharmaceuticals and Viridian Therapeutics are prime examples of this category. With valuations between $2 and $5 billion and late-stage science, these companies sit perfectly in the crosshairs of Big Pharma's most urgent criteria. This strategy introduces binary risk. XENE, for instance, has a Phase 3 trial readout for its focal onset seizure drug expected in March. If that imminent clinical data fails to meet its goals, the standalone viability of the company plummets instantly, and the acquirers walk away. Prioritizing a high likelihood of acquisition means accepting catastrophic downside risk tied directly to singular clinical trial results. There are also commercially grounded names to consider, such as the rare disease specialist BioCryst Pharmaceuticals. While their existing commercial revenue base lowers the pure clinical development risk, it also removes the desperate must-buy-now urgency for an acquirer. We see a different dynamic with highly lucrative cardiometabolic RNAi platforms, like Arrowhead Pharmaceuticals. RNAi stands for RNA interference, a process that silences specific genes to stop disease progression. Arrowhead's technology is so broad that the company is more likely to pursue regional partnerships or selective asset licensing rather than a clean, full company sale. These alternative safety nets and massive platform optionality alter, and often delay, the return timeline you would expect from a standard buyout. Being acquired requires a specific equation, a strict mix of size, strategic fit, and imminent clinical catalysts. Applying that exact criteria gives us this highest conviction takeout basket: XENE, Viridian, EyePoint, Ocular Therapeutics, and KYMR. Notice the specific sectors represented here: CNS, immunology, and ophthalmology. These 5 names win because upcoming data catalysts are close enough to force a buyer's hand. Acquirers have to move either right before or immediately after the value inflection point. This basket aligns with exactly what buyers are doing right now, securing near-commercial, strategically adjacent assets that are small enough to be easily digested. How you play this depends entirely on your risk tolerance. If you are a fundamental investor, your strategy maps to the megacaps. Focus your capital on Revolution Medicines and Ascendis. This provides sector exposure without the binary trial risk, allowing you to treat the stock as a real business rather than a lottery ticket. If you are a catalyst hunter looking for aggressive returns, your strategy maps directly to that top 5 basket of right-sized bolt-on targets. If you are a thematic macro investor, avoid generic biotech ETFs to catch M&A pops. That strategy severely dilutes your exposure to the actual specific targets. Identifying the specific right-sized assets Big Pharma needs for its own survival is the key to navigating the 2026 patent cliff successfully.